First. All right, and then let me also share my screen. So before we start our case study or the topic for discussion, right? So I'll just give you a few tips and tricks, right? So then we'll go deeper into this session. But before that, first of all, right, so settle down wherever you are, sit in a comfortable place, have a cup of tea, coffee, glass of water, whatever you want. Make sure you are comfortable. And if anyone has a laptop, please have the session on the laptop or your PC. It will make things easier, right? And keep your Excel sheets open. Yes, let's get started right away, right? So first I'll help you with few resources, right? So what is the first thing that you need as an analyst? What is the first thing, right? It could be any analyst, business analyst, right? Finance analyst, right? So first thing is obviously data, right? So without data, what will we even do, right? It could be knowledge of statistics. It could be about, say, for a cricket analyst, you need to know about cricket. For a business analyst, you need to know about business. For a finance analyst or a trading analyst, you need to know about this trading or stocks. So depending on whichever domain that you are working, you need to have some understanding. But the most important thing is data, right? Now, what we need is data. Now, how do we get this data, right? So how do we find this cricket data, right? So I'll give you few resources on where you can find this cricket data absolutely for free, right? So let's go through some of the resources. Cricinfo, CricBuzz, yes, all of us use it, right? So while we are traveling in auto, cab, metro, wherever, while we are eating something, right? So the first thing that we open is this Cricinfo or CricBuzz, right? So we always have it on our mobile phones, right? So some people say few more things: Big Bash Board, House Stat, all the news channels sometimes, right? So there was a point where all these news channels, right? Uh, Cricinfo, Crickmetric, very good. Sportskeeda, Cricksheet, yes. Now, yes, so let's go through some of these resources. I'll just give you right, so ways on how you can collect data, right? The first one, yes, so everybody knows about Cricinfo, ESPN Cricinfo. There's no doubt about it, right? If I just open uh, Cricinfo, right? Let me open Cricinfo. So yes, you click on any of the matches, and then you go through that stats in that match, right? Like for example, uh, so there was a match today, right? So West Indies versus England. You click on that match, and then you get complete information about this entire match, right? Now, so this is good for like a viewing, right? So this is good to view on a mobile phone, good to view on our laptop screens, right? But how do I get this data onto my Excel sheet, right? So now this scorecard is very, very tricky, but let me show you, right? So there are some pages where you can download like the Cricinfo data absolutely very easy, in a very easy way, right? Now, there is something called Stats Guru, right? If you don't know it, all you have to do is just put Stats Guru, right? So you will get the Stats Guru page directly right here, right? It's like a database, right? It's like a database of all cricket data that is available, right? So let's see how you can use it. Like for example, right? So let's say we type in Rishabh Pant, right? So I'm let's say, like, see, before you use this Stats Guru, see, many people, what they do about like what kind of mistakes they do, like whenever they are exploring some tools, is they don't have any clear idea. Randomly they are trying few things, right? But what I would suggest is, whenever you have a tool like Stats Guru, okay, yes, let me zoom in. Is this clear now? Yes. So now, so whenever you are exploring these kind of data tools, first thing that you need is a simple question, right? For example, let's say I have a question, which is, I want to know about T20I stats of Rishabh Pant. So this is a question in my mind, right? Now, Stats Guru will answer my question with the data. So let us see how. So what is my question? I want to know about Rishabh Pant's T20 international stats, right? Rishabh Pant's T20 international, like batting stats, right? So simple. Batting stats of Rishabh Pant, T20 international. So first thing is have a question. Now, what do we do? Okay, so I have my question. The question is clear. So I'll type Rishabh Pant, and then I'm looking for T20 internationals. I'm looking for batting, right? And let us search for it, right? So yes, now you have, okay, so Rishabh Pant. So you see, as soon as you type a player, it gave you these things. Now, what do we need? T20 international. So let's click on T20 internationals. And then it gives you some more filters, right? So do you want to filter by opposition, right? Do you want to filter by home and away, or some country, some particular ground, particular dates, or any particular season, right? Or like only where India has won, right? Or you want any particular format, right? So let's say I'm looking for innings by innings, right? So each innings one by one. And then all you have to do is just submit query. And here we go, right? So Rishabh Pant's T20 international stats are right here in front of us. Yes, overall career is 2017 to 2024. He played 69 matches, 1083 runs, highest score of 65, batting average of 23, right? You can see this as well, right? You can also see the catches, you can also see the stumpings as well, right? I'll show you again in case if you have missed it, right? So let's start all the way from Stats Guru, right? So how do you get here, right? So you go to, there's so many ads on this, right? So you go to Stats Guru, right? If you want the link of Stats Guru, I'm just putting it right here, right? So here you have Stats Guru, and then go to T20 international. So depending on your question, right? So you need to have your question first. Then I go to batting, right? So and yes, I'm looking for, here you can have like, yeah, I haven't typed in the name of the player. I am only looking for Rishabh Pant, right? And click on enter. Rishabh Pant's T20 international stats. If you want to put any filters, you can put all the filters. I want innings by innings and submit query, right? So, and yes, we have right, so all the information right away, right? Now, yes, so this information is good, but what if I want to export this into an Excel sheet, right? So let's say I want to export this into an Excel sheet. So there is a very small trick here. So all you have to do is open your Excel, and in your Excel, what you can do is there is this insert, sorry, right? So there is this data, sorry, right? So there is this data option. Now inside this data, there's get data, right? So go to this get data, right? And so you have so many options, right? So from a file, right? So from a database, from online sources, right? So from other sources, right? So you have all of these options. Now what you can do is, right? So if you don't want to go all of this, so there's a direct option, right? So from web, you can click on from web. Yes, because we have a website, right? So we have a website link and we want to use that website link. And now all you have to do is paste this Stats Guru, right? So link right here. If you want the Stats Guru link of Rishabh Pant stats, I'm putting it in the chat as well. Now, yes, click on OK. It will try to get the data from that page. Okay, it is fetching all the data. Okay, it's loading, connecting. Okay, it has loaded. Now it is figuring out the data. Now look at this, right? So it has got all these tables. Now what do we need? We just want the innings by innings data, right? And then click on load, and guess what? It is getting the data. You have the data right in front of you, right? So yes, innings, score, overs, right? So catches, stumpings, opposition, ground, everything is right here. I'll show you again one more new page. I want all of you to try this on your Excel sheets, right? Once again, I will type the steps also. Data from web, right? So paste the URL, right? Then go innings. Okay, I'm just putting it here. Innings by innings, right? And then load, right? So this is the format. I'm trying this again in front of you. Okay, click on from web. It will ask for a URL. Just paste the same Rishabh Pant's URL, right? And all you have to do is click on OK. It will try to load the data. Yes, give me a second. Right, so innings by innings list, then load. That's all, right? If you don't get from web options, so what you can do is, again, right, so go to that data. So there is a get data option. So please click on that get data option. There also from other sources from web, you can access it from here. Okay. Yes, there are other techniques that people use. Like, so some people try to do control P. So if you do a control P, you will get an entire PDF of it. So this is another way. And some people do another tricky thing, which is like, for example, just selecting this, copy it, and then paste it also. So let's see if this works. So this is also working, right? So you can also do copy paste of just copy paste, right? So yes, take the entire thing, right? You have to copy it till the end, copy, then yes, simple paste, right? Yeah, so you see, this is also working, right? So this is also working, copy paste, control P, that's all of this work. But if you have like hundreds of rows, so this get data is a simple way. Okay, so this is one way of getting cricket data. So another website is the most famous website. It's called Cricksheet. Okay, it's called Cricksheet. Now, so this is an open and free website for cricket data. Now, let's say I want to download IPL data, right? So IPL, like all the way from 2008 till 2024, like you want to download all the 17 editions. Okay, now that you can get it from this Cricksheet data, like the Cricksheet website itself, right? Now this Cricksheet, right? So I would recommend you to go to Cricksheet, and now you have to select downloads. There is an option downloads. Okay, and when you go to downloads, you will see there is like, so you have a list of all the international matches, some different trophies, all of this is happening, right? Now instead of that, you see all these JSON, YML files, all of this, right? Now scroll all the way to the bottom of this website. Okay, now come from the bottom. When you come from the bottom, you will see, right? So there is, so all this format is in a simple CSV format, which is like an Excel format, right? So CSV stands for comma separated values, which can be opened on Excel sheet, right? Now, what do we want? IPL data, right? So yes, let us see where is this IPL. So IPL Indian Premier League. Okay. Now you can see number of matches is 1095. Crazy, right? Now there are two formats. If I zoom in, you can download any of these, but I would recommend download this new format, Indian Premier League new. Okay. Let me see if I can copy this link. And once you click on this, you will be able to, so because I already have this zip, right? So it is already downloaded. So once you download, it will look something like this. So I would recommend you guys to download it right now. See if you are able to download the IPL data. Yes, I'll repeat once again. Go to Cricksheet downloads section. I'm showing you again. Go to Cricksheet, click on downloads. This is the download section. Go all the way to the bottom of this page. Okay. If you go to the bottom, scroll from the bottom, right? So you will see Indian Premier League here, right? So Indian Premier League 1095 original new, right? You can click on this new, you will be able to download, right? In just few seconds, we are able to download IPL data. If you just unzip this, right? So let me see if I actually unzip this. Okay, you can just do unzip. Okay, it's quite a huge file, right? Like there are lots of files because every single match data you will have this in this Excel, right? You can also unzip. You will be able to see all the files in this. Last few seconds. Awesome. So yes, mine is downloaded. Okay, look at this, right? So every single match you have so much of data, right? And also just notice there is a file called all matches. Okay, now if you click on this all matches, this is one Excel file which has all matches data, right? All the way from, so you can see the first match. If you open this all matches file, the first match 18/4/2008, right? And go to the bottom, you can see 26/5/2024. Amazing, right? I'll go again from the start. Go to Cricksheet website. There is a download section. You have to go to this download section. If you look at the top, you'll see JSON format. We don't want this, right? We have to go all the way to the bottom, right? So just go to the bottom and yes, scroll from here. You will find out Indian Premier League, and within Indian Premier League, you will see 1095. That means number of matches is 1095. Then new, right? If you click on new, you will be able to download all the zip files. Once you download the zip file, you will be able to see something like this. Then do an unzip. After unzipping, you will be able to view all the files like this. Right. So now, right, so we covered couple of sources, right? So this is another way of downloading cricket data for free, right? So there are other resources as well. So I've covered it, right? So I'll share you a link where I've covered a lot more resources. For today, Cricksheet is enough for us. Okay. I'll just summarize whatever we did. We just have covered two resources. One is StatsGuru, one is Cricksheet. So StatsGuru, we tried using StatsGuru, right? It's a database for cricket data. You have your important thing is you need to have a question. Depending on your question, try to apply those filters and get that data. You will be able to download the data on the Excel file also. A copy paste works, or you can do data from web, paste the URL, download the data, right? And another resource that we have found out is more detailed information is Cricksheet. It's free, it is open source, right? If you have to download IPL, all the data, go to the download section, go all the way to the bottom, you'll get the CSV files, then download the zip, you'll get all these data. Okay, now let's see what this all matches data, how does it look like? This is pretty detailed. Let's go through each of these columns one by one. Okay, now first one is match ID. So this part is very important. So every cricket analyst should understand how cricket data looks like, right? How does cricket data look like, right? So yes, let's take a look at it very clearly, right? So I'll just zoom it for you. Let me try to highlight this columns. Okay, yes, one by one, right? Now match ID. So match ID is something nothing but it's like an ID for every single match. So just like all of us have some Aadhaar card numbers, every single match has an ID, right? So that is how you can identify each and every single match. Then season. So which season was the IPL? 2007, 8, 2008, 2009, right? So you can identify season. Then start date. So start date is basically when the match has started. So basically the match date, right? So when the match was played. Then venue, what is the venue of this match? The Chinnaswamy, right? Then next one is innings. So basically in a match we have two innings, innings one, innings two, right? If it is a super over, you have additional innings as well, right? So that is counted as innings three, innings four. Then this is a ball by ball data, right? So look how detailed it is, like ball number one, ball number two, right? So four, ball number 1.1, which means first over, first ball, right? Second over, first ball, right? So you have ball number. Then you have batting team. So Kolkata Knight Riders were the batting team. Then bowling team. So Royal Challengers Bangalore is the bowling team. Then who is the striker? Ganguly is the striker. Then who's the non-striker? Brendan McCullum is the non-striker, the record breaker, right? Then you have P. Kumar. So Praveen Kumar is the bowler. Then coming to the important columns. Now, how many runs of the bat in this ball? So there are 0 runs. First one is an extra. So there is an extra run. So this is actually a leg by, right? So extras, you have some columns. Is it a wide? Is it no ball? By, leg by? That's awesome. Penalty runs. You have all of this. So if it was a wicket, you'll have wicket type, like is it bowled, caught, stumps, a stump out, like a run out, right? So LBW, right? So this wicket type. Then player dismissed. So if the player is dismissed, who is the player who has dismissed, right? So if it's any other wicket type, like a retired, hurt, something like that, right? Then other player dismissed, if there is any other player dismissed, right? So depending on the other wicket type, so you have this as well, right? So are you clear with all the columns? Any column is confusing, let me know in the chat. Let's go through it very quickly again. Match ID, every match has an ID. Season, it is identified like which year basically. Start date, when the match was played. Venue, where was the match played. Then innings, what innings is it currently, right? So innings one, innings two. Then you have ball number. Is it 0.1, 0.2, 19.1, 19.2, right? So ball number. Batting team, who is batting. Bowling team, who is bowling, right? So who's the striker, right? Who is in the striker end. Non-striker, who is in the non-striker end. Bowler, who is the bowler, right? And then you have important columns. How many runs are scored, then extras, then wides, no balls, buys, leg buys, wicket type, right? So player dismissed, right? So if there's any wicket, let me see if I can pull something, right? So yes, you can see Ganguly is dismissed right here, right? So how is he dismissed? Caught, right? You can see he's caught. Right. So yes, so that is how you can access like all of these columns. So whenever you are given some data, so keep this in mind. Go through every single column first, right? So what does each column say? What is the meaning of this column, right? So make that a practice, right? And every single row is nothing but each ball, right? So ball number one, ball number two. So yes. So let us see how many rows are there for one match. So how do you do it is you have to apply a filter, right? So how do you apply a filter, right? Just go to home, there is a sort and filter, you can filter, right? So as soon as you apply filter, you'll get this drop down, right? So you'll get this drop button, like down arrow button. You can filter it by this match. So 3, 3, 5, 9, 8, 2, right? So let's filter only this match. Undo, select all, select only this match, click on OK. Now you see you have only this match in particular, right? So let's see how many balls do we have. So you can see there are only 226. Why is it so? Let's see what happened. Because they got all out in 15.2 overs only, right? So that is how you can quickly check how many balls are there in every single match. So once again, I'll show you again. Yes. How do you get right here? Yes, just give me 1 second. You have to go to home. After going to home, there is an option sort and filter, apply filter, right? Once you apply filter, yes. home, sort and filter. Once you apply filter, you will get this down arrow option. You can click on this down arrow option, right? So undo, like untick this, select all, right? Because we want only one match, 335982 match. Click on OK. You will get only this. Yes, if you are a person who is a fan of shortcuts, Control Shift L will also give you this filter as well, right? So yes, select this data, Control Shift L also applies the uh, like the filter directly, right? So yes, you can use it. If you are a first time user, please follow like buttons, right? So home, I'm typing in this as well. Home, sort and filter, then apply filter. Okay, and just select this match 335982. Okay, right? So how many of you are able to do this, right? So filtering out this 335982 match, just type in done if you are able to do it. Yes, done. Very good. Okay, okay. Awesome. So I'll cover one last topic and then we will be done for today. And then I'll tell you what is something that we are covering tomorrow. Okay. Now, one of the most important thing to analyze data in Excel is pivot tables. So pivot table is like a magic, right? Now I'll show you. First, I'll show you what you can do with this pivot table, right? And then I'll tell you how to do it. Okay, so let me quickly do it and then I'll tell you how you can use it. Okay, don't go mad. What is this David doing all of this, right? Yes. I'm selecting only this match 335982. Okay, so these are the players who played in this match. And what I am looking for is, yes, how many runs were scored by each batter? Okay, so that is what I am trying to do. And yes, you can do this. Look what we have in just like less than 10 seconds. You directly have runs scored by each batsman. Is this 158, right? Everyone, you can go to CricBuzz page and look at the scorecard also, right? So yes, these are the individual runs scored by each player in that match, right? So yes, you can validate other player scores as well. Okay, now how do we do this, right? So how did I do this, right? So how you can also do this, right? Now, first of all, this pivot table, I would recommend shortcut for this, and I'll show you a couple of ways. Now that we have already filtered this, right? So what you can do is select this all data. How do you select all of this data? Just doing Control A, right? So how do you do select all? Control plus A, right? So yes, control, if you do this Control A, look, all of this appears in like a gray color, right? Now you can apply a simple shortcut, Alt N V, then enter. It will directly give you something like this. Click on OK. Okay, once again, what is the shortcut to pivot table? Alt plus N plus V. How to do it? Just by using mouse, you can do it. Select all, right? Click on this insert, right? If you click on insert, there is a pivot table, the first option itself, and click on from table. You will get the same method here as well. You can click on OK. All right. So yes. So are you guys able to get to this point? If you are able to get this point, you should be able to see this kind of a window. Yes. Okay. I think for Mac users, I would recommend doing it the mouse. So Command A will work for select all. I think Option NV, not so sure about the shortcut. Just search for pivot table shortcut in Mac. You will get that as well. Right. Okay. Again, once again, if you are struggling, go to all matches. Right. Done. Right. So now in the pivot table, right. So there it's very simple if you just follow the steps clearly. Look at the headings of each columns. Filter, row, column, values. Okay. Now first, let's start with simple filter. Now we want to filter only for one match, right? Let's do that. So put match ID into this filters. Okay. Just drag this. Drag this match ID into filters. Okay. So once you do it, it will automatically appear here. You can click on this drop down, right? So you can select only, right? So just select this multiple items, untick this all, only click on 335982. So let me know once you're able to filter. Okay, just click on OK, 335982. Click on OK. This match is filtered. There is match ID. Drag this match ID to filters. You will be able to filter for this match. Okay. Yes, 50% is done already. Now, next thing, what do we want? We want individual scores of each batsman. Correct? Now, how do we do it? Now, striker, because the batsman who is in the striker end is the one who is scoring runs. Striker, drag it into rows. If you drag this striker into rows, you will see all the batsmen who has uh, played as a striker. Okay. Now, let's say I also want to add one more thing like a team, right? So which team do these players belong? What you can do is click batting team, put it on top of this striker, right? So let me know once you're done till this point. Okay. Batting team and striker, right? So put both of them into these rows. Okay. So you will see KKR batsman, McCallum, Hasi, Hafiz, Ponting, Ganguly. Then Bangalore as well, right? So Nofke, Akhil, White, Chalice, Boucher, Praveen Kumar, Dravid, Joshi, Kohli, Zafar, and Zahir, right? Okay, and one final step is runs off the bat. Just drag it to values and boom, you have the answer right here, right? You can do so many things. You can do like wickets, right? So how many wickets, how many, like let's say I also want to add number of balls. You can also add pull these balls and put this into these values. You will see okay, so this is not sum, you have to change it to count, right? So value field settings, put it into count, right? So now you can see balls faced by each batsman. So Brendan McCullum scored 158 in 77 balls. Yes, 12 of 12, 5 of 3, 20 of 20, 10 of 12. You can cross check it, right? You can cross check it. Let's say I'll open Crick Buzz, RCB, KKR 2008. Okay, so yes, I'll click on this. Uh, okay, let me see if we can get this. Okay, you can see. Yes. So yes, so we can see 10 of 12, 158 of 73, 20 of 20, 12 of 12, 5 of 3, right? So now there are like you don't have to count every single ball because there could be some no balls, there could be some extras, right? You have to delete all of those, right? Now how do you add this ball? Once again, I'll just do it again for you. Okay? So I want to add number of balls, right? So yes, how do we do it? Go to the ball, there's a column ball, right? Now pull this ball into these values. If you push, like if you put it into these values, you will see it is giving sum of ball. So what it is trying to do is, if the ball number is 1.1, 1.2, it will add 1.1, 1.2. But we don't want that, right? We only want to count number of balls the batsman has played, right? So instead of sum, you have to change it to count. How do you change it? Click on this value field settings, count. Okay. you will be able to see the count of balls. Okay, you can exclude whites and no balls, right? So you can put them into these extras and remove these whites and no balls as well, right? So you can remove all of this, right? So you can, yeah, you can select only the blank ones, right? So that way you will be even remove the no balls, right? So also, right, you can add them to this filter. See, all of you guys can watch the recording again. So now you see 158 of 73. Let's look at the scorecard. 158 of 73, we matched it, right? And then let's look at David Hussey, 12 of 12. Let's look at 12 of 12, we matched it. 5 of 3 Hafiz, 5 of 3. 20 of 20 Ponting, yes, Ponting 20 of 20. 10 of 12 Ganguly, 10 of 12, right? Amazing, right? So whites and no balls, just select only the blank ones. Okay, so please watch the recording again. I'll do this whites and no balls again just for clarity, right? So put these whites and no balls into filters because we want to remove these whites and no balls, right? So once you put this whites, right, so select multiple items, select only blank. Okay, click on OK. Once again, no balls, click on only blank, right, and click on OK. Here we go, right? So now you're almost like an analyst who can download the data, who can query the data, who can ask the data, and you can also work with the data, right? So you already learned three things today, right? First one is how to ask question and get that data, how to download the data, and how to work with this data, right? So we already have, right, so started working like an analyst itself, right? So why are we doing this is the whole point of today and tomorrow will be how to analyze one single match, right? So that is the goal that we are targeting. So today we covered some part of it. Tomorrow I'll share you more insights like how to plot some charts, how to do matchups, right? So how to do so many insights out of one single match, right? How to analyze one single match. Okay, so is the problem statement clear? What are we trying to do? If I have to analyze one single match using all the data and just using Excel, how do I analyze this entire match? So that is the goal that all of us are trying. Okay, so is this goal clear? The whole point of this day 1, day 2 case study is, if I have one single match data, will I be able to analyze that match completely? Yeah. Okay, so yes, we have covered little part of it. So tomorrow I'll try to cover more of it. Then your assignment will also be in these lines only. I will talk about the assignment tomorrow, right? So was this useful today? Right? So was this session helpful for you? So yes, thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. same time, continuing on the same analysis, right? So till that time, right? So take care, bye bye, and see you tomorrow.